Valet's here. A crazy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
So you got a name, Phantom?
Call me Evil.
How we doing, everybody? Welcome to Blood Donuts. I am Tony.
And I'm Chris. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Happy New Year, Chris.
Happy New Year, Tony. It's good to see you, man.
It's been a good year. We want to thank everyone who subscribed to us this year. What in our most popular episode, you know what it was, Chris? In 2023? Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We do have two more coming out that might beat it, but I'm probably not. Trick or Treat was a... Halloween is like when everybody's listening to horror podcasts, and they were just like killing Trick or Treat, which was a fun episode. Fun fact, we had to do that episode twice. The first one was
mad.
The first one was so bad, and people were calling, and my wife was having a baby shower is what was happening. And people were like calling me left and right, and it was during the episode, and we had to just like scrap it and do it over with.
Yeah, it was fun though. We regrouped. And we got our stuff in order. And it was great. Yes. I mean, it turned out to be a favorite one.
I have a feeling that 2024 is going to be a big year for this podcast. So
I think so too.
Oh yeah,
we got a lot coming up as far as like staying on theme. We got some Valentine's movies coming up, some Leprechauns somewhere there in March. I mean,
not only that, there's some good horror films coming out in 2024, and hopefully we get to do some of those because man, there's some good ones. Man. John Lennon gunned down in the streets of New York City in 1980 outside of his apartment building. Legendary Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham died by choking on his own vomit. The United States boycotts the Olympics that are held in Moscow. The 24-hour news cycle is born with the launch of CNN. Ronald Reagan defeats the incumbent Democratic president Jimmy Carter. But more importantly, New Year's Evil, the American slasher film written and directed by Emmett Alston, was in the movie theaters.
Nice.
Man, this is
it's a landmark.
It really is. It's co-written by Leonard Newbar, starring Kip Niven. Sure. Roz Kelly, Chris Wallace. The plot follows a Los Angeles punk rock and new wave show host who receives a series of phone calls during a televised New Year's Eve bash from a killer warning of impending murders that he plans to exact as the new year dawns on each time zone. It really is a genius plot when you think about it.
It's not the worst plot we've ever seen. I mean, it has a good... it has heart. It wants to be great, but the execution probably falls a little flat. But good story nonetheless.
What's crazy is this movie. Every time you watch this movie, you have to say Halloween was already out in theater. Halloween came out 2 years before this. No excuses.
And this was one. It was like right. It's like you've already seen what greatness is.
Yeah.
Don't go back to the early 70s with this nonsense.
Yeah.
But it was almost like every holiday needed a mascot, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
At this point, it was like Christmas needs something, New Year's Eve needs some kind of killer, and this was the New Year's one.
We needed it, man. We needed it for this New Year's Eve episode. Emmett Alston, he directed other classics such as Turf Turf in 1985 and 9 Deaths of the Ninja, also in 1985. New Year's Evil was released on December 12th, 1980. The movie set in Los Angeles, California during New Year's Eve. The film only runs about 85 minutes. I can appreciate that.
It feels longer, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels like they are interrupting a rock concert with tidbits of a horror movie.
Yes, some of those rock. I mean, like some of the the rock concert. If you're into early punk rock, this features some of that.
It's funny because it's not really a montage. It's like, here's our set list.
Yeah,
you're gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna sprinkle in some horror movie.
Oh, it's fun. But hey, how about that New Year's Evil song?
For the
New Year's
it's
Evil.
great.
I mean,
By
that thing.
by the band Shadow.
Where is
Loved
Shadow?
it.
We're going to try in
know-
2024 to get Shadow on the podcast, but
How did you guys feel making that masterpiece?
yeah, exactly.
Roz Kelly, you mentioned the
Yes.
actress.
Yeah.
She plays Blaze, and she was well known at the time for portraying Pinky Tuscadero on Happy Days, which is
Wow.
one of the Fonz's girlfriends.
I like that. That's a great
Interesting, right?
fact. The killer's motives to commit murder are on the stroke of midnight, each time zone across the United States. I like that plot.
He seemed mad when he
Yeah.
was getting close. If
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like going to
He's
not
like,
make it. Nice. How much did it make? Because it said I saw where the budget was like 500,000, but
It said it was not a huge box office success, but it did turn a profit relative to its budget. So
$501,000. Nice.
exactly.
We broke even, everybody.
That's so funny. It went to DVD, it went to home video. It gained some additional popularity there. It has an iconic poster featuring the hand holding a knife with a clock face, symbolizing the New Year's Eve countdown. Alternative titles. In some countries, the film was released under the alternative title Terror Night.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I thought you were going to say Safe Neighborhood again.
That's the best. I like that one. What do you
Alternate
think about
title.
this movie?
You know, it was really just 80s cheese for me.
Yeah.
And the good kind for me.
We've seen a lot of movies like this when we were kids.
Yeah, movies that are so bad that they're good.
Yeah.
This is so bad, but I wasn't just angry the whole time. I was having fun.
Yeah.
It was funny to me, certain aspects was it. So it had that good kind of 80s cheese. I mean, it's no House at the Edge of the Park by any means. That is legendary,
Yes.
but this had that 80s feel to it. Tell me, man, do I shine? Okay, sorry.
I'm swinging tonight, ain't I, Alex? Yeah.
And that anyway, yeah, we can't get off on that great
I wish
movie with
there's
this,
a few
deal, but-
quotes in here, but like when the girl was talking
stopped
about her
biting
friend
my
and her
nails.
diarrhea
Lisa got
and
rid of
stuff
her
like
nervous
that. I mean that's
diarrhea.
some good quotes and stuff. So
Yeah.
I could see where this would be funny in that regard.
Yeah, that felt like the comic relief
Yeah.
part of the show. But
Yeah. I like that.
it's cool. Turner Classic Movies once paired this movie with Christmas Evil, also released in 1980,
What?
for a holiday-themed double feature.
Dang, Turner.
So that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
I only have one other fact also, and that is the cat scare. The cat jump scare totally got me.
Where's the little guy come from?
The cat jumped out.
Oh, I got
and
you.
it scared the crap out of me.
I got you.
Yep.
When she opened it up and he was there with the lighter, I thought that was a good jump scare.
Yeah. Well, I was still recovering.
You were still
from the
recovering
cat.
from the I thought it was good. I wish like he reveals this is not spoiling it. It's in the thing. He reveals a mask when the movie's almost over, which is it's a Laurel Hardy mask, which it's pretty creepy, you know?
I did like the mask, and I wish he would have used it from
The
the beginning.
entire time.
and then a reveal at the end. You know,
What the worst part about this movie is the killer himself. It just I mean, just a dude from the 1970s, a handsome fella.
Yeah.
What's the Kardashians' dad? What's his name?
Bruce Jenner.
Bruce Jenner before he transitioned. That's what this guy looks like.
Well, yeah, he had great hair.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought him as an actor was strong compared to everyone else. Let's say.
What do you think
know.
about that voice that he used on the phone?
I'm going to commit murder.
I am
I'm evil.
Call me evil.
He's got like the voice changer like down his throat.
I watched a documentary, and he said that they got one of those things if you have throat cancer and you lose your voice, for some reason, whatever, it didn't work. So, but he was sitting there, he's like, but I just went ahead and did this voice. I am evil. He goes, and the directors loved it.
Loved it.
He said, so they were really happy and they left it in there. And I was sitting there like, they were happy with that? No.
That was hilarious.
I am evil. Dude, you better never say like, it's not Evil Dead. It's Evil Dead. Man, that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Oh. Dude, so I had no more facts. Let's get pros and cons here. So I loved the 80s cheese.
Yes.
Like I said, it had a lot of heart. The soundtrack is rocking. I love how like the cops had like a little drum roll theme. Like as soon as it showed the cops, they had their own little theme song.
Yeah. I love it.
Hilarious.
I love it.
My favorite scene is where the concert goers are just kind of milling around to jazz music. And they're like knocking into each other and crap.
It was like a mosh pit. It was like a mosh
like,
pit. And then until they like started playing some like just blues on the electric guitar, and then everybody's just like, you could tell the director was like, no, just like act like you're zombies or something. Just
right. And the boom mic is like right in there. You can hear them shuffling around and hitting everybody. It's really funny.
Oh man, I love it.
Cons, it does drag at times. The Billy character is crazy, but make him like creepy and mysterious, and I think it works a lot better. He's just, totally crazy.
Yeah.
And the worst scene is anything with Billy in it for me. I'm gonna give this, Tony, a 5 out of 13. I think it is lower mid tier, but it's hilarious. I can't in good conscience go out there and recommend this to anybody, but it's worth a little rent if you have time. If you really want to enjoy that 80s cheese and laugh along, it's pretty funny.
This is this is a tough one. It's tough in the regard that we rented a lot of these when we were kids, and we gravitated to movies like this. Now we gravitated to them because we would make fun of them. We liked Mystery Science Theater. We would sit there and we would just like riff on these terrible movies, and they became classics to us. But I'm going to rate it just like you're just a normal dude going to rent this horror film. The kills are pretty good. There's one where he puts a plastic bag over a girl's face. It's not bad. Old actor mask. It looks pretty creepy and it looks good.
Yeah.
Roxy. She's a 1980s rock star host, you know what I mean? They kind of they go in and out on this concert, but like you said, it's like some of these shots are way too long on this music. They were trying to appeal to an audience that I don't believe is there, and it just didn't work for the movie. The killer, he is oftentimes, first off, they showed him too much. There's not a lot of mystery to him. You're just like you're seeing him and all of his mess ups and mistakes. It looks like me out there trying to murder people. I'm like trying to get there on time. I'm late. I want to murder this girl, but she brings her friend along and stuff. It's like you're just like, it's like the opposite of what Michael Myers is and all the mystery and the boogeyman outside the window and missing and all this stuff. It's hilarious. He does come off pretty smooth there in the beginning, but he loses some of his smoothness as it goes. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 13.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think if you miss this, you're going to be okay. Your life is still going to go on. But if you like cheesy 80 horror films like I do, I think you should watch it. I think you should take the time to just sit down and laugh at it. It is a product of its time. Seen it? We are going to go scene by scene and spoil this thing. We watched it for free on Prime Video, didn't we, Chris?
Mm-hmm. Freebie with some ads.
Yeah, did have to watch some ads.
Good stuff, though.
Yeah, good stuff. New Year's Evil with spoilers. One New Year's Eve, popular punk rock new wave DJ Diane Sullivan, known as Blaze among her fans, is hosting a late-night countdown celebration of music and partying. televised live from Hollywood Hotel, and a simulcast on local radio. All is going. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, hang on. So they missed so much there on this synopsis, which we couldn't find. So the first kill, Yvonne, right? She's killed in her bathroom. Who is she, and why does she matter?
Yeah, they don't explain. She does talk to Blaze for a second, right, in her hotel room.
Yeah, maybe.
And then so like their friend, and then she goes away, and the water is dripping in her bathtub. You know, bloop bloop, and she turns it off. At least she turns it off a lot. Like, you know what I mean? And then
I thought she was gonna break it.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty cool. I mean, like, you didn't know who the murderer was at this point.
Yeah, and that wasn't a bad scare either.
Yeah,
you know, jumping right from behind the curtain.
Yeah,
I thought you could kind of expect it. But
it was a really cool opening. But like you said, we never really find. I mean, she's a friend. You know. Throughout the movie, they're like, man, they still can't find Yvonne. You know, but she
Right.
does have a cool entrance there at the end.
And I bet Blaze and the gang were not welcome back to the hotel after this.
That's right.
That's hilarious.
Blaze is in her hotel room. She has this annoying manager. He is like the worst actor on planet Earth. Like, the dude is like, no, we have to go. Come on, let's get out of here. We have to go.
We're running behind.
We're running behind. No, you can't talk to your son. And her son comes in. And he's like, I got a part in a movie. And he brought roses, and she's just like totally not listening to what she's like, yeah, that's cool. I got this rocking show that I have to go to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is a horrible time for you to be talking to me. You're my son.
Right.
Come give me a hug and get out the way. But he's really butthurt about this.
Yeah, it really affects him in a strange way. And this also, you know, it skips over that group of friends. You know, they're like driving around in the cars. I remember in our youth, Tony, we would drive around and yell at other people for no reason, and we would like threaten cops with like switchblade
And
combs,
spit on them and stuff. It has these punk rock kids. They're in a convertible, but they're like 8 deep in this convertible. They're sitting on the doors and on the back and stuff, and they're heading to the show. And then they get out, and the security guard's like, "Can I have your tickets, please? Can I have your tickets, please? Tickets, please." Did you notice that? He said it like all like, "Can I have your tickets, please? Your tickets."
I couldn't tell if it was just bad editing.
It looked like they voiced it in. Like
Right.
"Can we get your tickets, please? I need your tickets." Like, they were like, and then dude, like you said, he has like this switchblade, and he puts it up to the security guard's face, but it's just a comb.
And they're like, so bad.
Of course, we got our tickets. Here you go. Yeah. And I guess that's that. Like, later when the cops show up, when all these phone calls are coming in, the detective's like, "What do you expect? I mean, this is the crowd that you bring in. What do you expect? You're gonna get some death threats when you play with this crowd here. I mean, come on." It's so funny.
Very funny.
Yeah. All's going well until Diane starts receiving phone calls from an odd-sounding stranger. He announces his intention to murder one naughty girl at the stroke of midnight in each U.S. time zone. I don't remember him saying one naughty girl. He warns that Diane, located in the Pacific time zone, will be the last victim. Meanwhile, Diane's son Derek arrives at the studio, but is mostly ignored by his mother. He begins behaving erratically throughout the night as he watches the show on television. So they kind of like brought that down into that paragraph, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Derek's a throwaway character anyway. He's not really useful until the end.
Right, that is true. Yeah. But yeah, so Diane is hosting like a New Year's Eve bash, like, you know, like you would see New Year's Rockin' Eve, like you see Dick Clark do, but it's like a punk wave thing. And on the television, they have the New York time zone, and then they have Chicago, and then of course they have that famous one, Aspen, Colorado. That's pretty random, isn't it?
And I like how all the guys sound the same. They're like, "We hear you, Blaze, in New York, and let's kick it over to, you know, Tupelo, Mississippi," or something. Like, "Hey, yeah, we're good down here." It's all the same voice actor. It's hilarious.
That's awesome. And Evil says that that's his name, by the way. Evil. So this is not Michael Myers. This is not Jason. This is evil. Okay. So this is New Year's Eve ill. Get it? But so he's going to kill somebody, some naughty girl, each like in each time zone when it hits midnight, which is genius if you ask me.
And that's a feat, man. I mean, you got to like kill, and you got to get on the road.
You got to find him. You know, you got to
get over there, and yeah.
And you would think he was preparing this so much. You would think he would already have his victims, but no, he has to go get them.
He has to go be in the time zone, so he's got to like drive.
So he's driving. No, he doesn't.
Doesn't he?
No, he's not in the time zone.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't be able to make it. The studio crew takes safety measures and heightens security, but a string of murders begin to occur across Los Angeles. A nurse at a sanitarium is found dead shortly after midnight, striking in the Eastern time zone. 2 women are found dead near a liquor store after midnight in the Central time zone. The killer uses a radio cassette recorder to tape the sounds of his victims as he murders them and calls back the station, each time replaying the tapes over the phone to prove how serious he is.
Yeah. So, they've used the New York, the New Year's Evil song like 3 times by now, by the way, which is hilarious.
New Year's Evil.
And the most tense scene in this movie, and this is not a joke, is when the lady goes in to get some champagne.
Yes.
And it's very tense. The guy's like, "Have a good night."
And then
she's like,
doesn't she just nod? Yeah, she just goes.
She just nods. It's so weird and like it's tense for no reason.
It makes no sense whatsoever. He walks into the sanitarium and he acts like he's there to help out for the night. He's like, well, I'm here to start my shift. I'm brand new, and he's very winsome. He has a good personality. He's a handsome fella.
Yeah.
And this good looking blonde middle-aged nurse comes back and she's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm about to start my shift, but it is New Year's Eve. How about we drink some champagne together?" You know? And he sealed the deal pretty quick.
I didn't know it was that easy to land a hot blonde nurse.
Yeah. So
she's like, "I just met you," and he's like, "Does it matter?" And she goes, "Tonight." No,
it's New Year's Eve. Yeah, we start over. We start over at midnight. That's what I'm talking about. And then so he's sitting there. He's sealing the deal. He's got her half naked. He's making out with her. He's about to home run it. And at midnight, he messes it up. He goes and just stabs her to death.
Don't you hate when you accidentally do that? When you're almost
there.
Like, you got to kill somebody.
I already got on the phone. And said I got to kill somebody.
I already hit record on the Walkman. I got to do this.
Yeah.
He hits record on the talk boy over there.
That's hilarious. It's not a video camera, like iPhone or like in 1980s, like it's like the sounds of her being murdered. So that means that you could have got that anywhere. He's like, "Listen, ow, oh, ee."
He's like making the sounds himself. Oh no!
Stop it! With a knife. What are you? Don't come near me with that knife right now. Oh my goodness! And
that is hilarious.
And then his second victim, like he picks her up at the bar. He has this awesome mustache that he glues on.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really good. He goes in there and he pulls another one. He's just like, "Hey, I'm trying to get out of here and hang out and blah blah blah." And she's like, "Well, I got to bring my friend with me." And she is just non-stop talking in the car, and he is just so over her. She's talking about Zen and yoga and how it's helped her friend's diarrhea, and she's just like, and he's just sitting there like, "Dang it, I'm late." He's like so frustrated. Finally, like you said, he sends the friend into the liquor store. He goes, "Go buy us the most expensive bottle of champagne." So he's just throwing money out at this point.
Absolutely.
And then he kills the girl with a plastic bag. And when the friend comes out to find her, there's that dumpster scare. She's finding her friend's clothes, a shoe, and then her dress. And then he's sitting there in the dumpster with a lighter. And that's a pretty good jump scare. And then she's killed off screen, I believe.
It was 2 back-to-back jump scares. And then when the cops come later, right?
Yeah.
He's like changing clothes and stuff, and then they walk back there. Didn't he have him like propped up somehow?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. Yeah, he did. He did.
He's got him like in poses and stuff.
Yeah, he put him in the backyard and like posed him in a certain way, which I think is a nice touch. You know, it's very personal. When you kill them and just leave them laying there,
you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the 80s. You have to put them in various places.
Yes.
And the one came down the slide.
Oh yeah,
remember?
one did come down the slide randomly.
Like,
how do you do that? How do you do that? That's awesome. Michael Myers would do that. They would like swing from the randomly, you know.
Right.
While the killer searches for a victim to kill for the stroke of midnight in the Mountain Time Zone, he inadvertently angers a gang of bikers who chase him into a drive-in theater. This is the kind of stuff you're just like, why is this in here? This is this is a side quest, right?
It's a lot of filler. Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
And like you said, this is kind of like how we would be murdering people. We would just screw up so much.
Yes. It's hilarious.
Like
These gangs,
you rear end a cop or something on your way there. You're like, crap.
Or like you're at the bar. This is where I would feel. I'd be at the bar trying to get the girl, and she'd be like, "No, I'm not going with you."
No, I don't want to hear about your dumb podcast anymore. Would you shut up? No.
That's the truth.
What does even blood and donuts mean?
What is blood and donuts? No. Oh my gosh. The bikers, they chase him into a drive-in theater. He murders one of the bikers, steals a couple's car to avoid being recognized, and drives off with a girl who is still in the back seat, intending to make her his next victim. But she manages to escape. So she's back there. It's like a teenage girl, it seems. She was like making out with her boyfriend, and she's back there, and she's distraught, and she's like, "Mister, please just drop me off." And then at one point she goes, "I'll do anything for you. I'll even." Yeah, she goes, "You can have sex with me, and I won't say anything.
I won't make a fuss or nothing."
Yeah, and that makes him more angry. Because you find out at the end that he cannot stand women, and he could not stand promiscuous women, right?
Right. Yeah, she said the wrong thing there. She should have just stuck with the money line.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, acted like she was a button-up girl. Yeah. I mean, it's really, it's funny that she finally made the right decision after being with the guy for 15 to just open the car door and leave. Yeah. Like in the beginning, she was like worried about getting her shirt buttoned.
Oh yeah.
When a guy with a knife is hijacking her car, I think you can jump out the car.
Yeah.
Then fix your blouse.
Right.
Save us a lot of headache.
Yeah, that's the truth. She like runs into it's like a stadium, like a high school baseball stadium or something like that, under like some seats or something. He comes out. It's tense. He has his knife out, and then the cops show up. Hey, what are you doing down there? Hey, what are you doing right there? And he has to leave at that point.
Hey, we saw you stab that biker and run off. Like, we followed you here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the hotel where the party's going down, where Roxy is her name Roxy? Did I mess that up? Blaze.
Yeah,
Blaze.
Blaze.
I keep wanting to Rock. I keep wanting to call her Roxy, but Blaze, where she is, they have totally locked this hotel down.
Yeah.
They've put cops at every, because at this point, for some reason, this psychologist came in. I think that the killer's going to come and try to kill you. It's like this big like leap, and you're just like, yeah.
They should have established that guy a little sooner instead of just springing him on you.
They just spring him on that. I believe he's going to come and kill you next just by looking at the.
It's funny. Even the detective was like, he's like rolling his eyes at the psychologist guy. Like he's like, this was supposed to be my scene.
I love it. So you got cops at every entrance. There's no way evil's getting in there.
No, not at all.
Eventually, the killer manages to sneak into the hotel, which by now has been completely locked down by the police. And it's revealed to be Diane's husband, Richard, who was previously thought to be too busy to attend.
Dun, dun, dun. I love how he goes, like he gets out of the car after hitchhiking. He's like, "Bless you, my son."
Yes, he's wearing a priest outfit. Yeah, bless you, my son.
And then to get in the hotel, right? He's hiding behind a corner, and he goes, "Hey, officer, there's a drunk over here." And then the cop like slowly walks over to like investigate. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
look, there's a drunk. Like in the 1980s, you better not be publicly intoxicated because they will beat
Especially not on New Year's.
No, they will beat the crap out of you. Where's that drunk at?
Right. When did you realize that our boy Richard, or whatever his name is, was the killer, or was her husband? Like, when did you find that out? Because I was watching with the wife last night, and she's like, "So is that killer the lady's husband?" And I was like, "Maybe."
I didn't. So like they mentioned him in the beginning, like, oh, he's already too drunk or something to show up or something like that. And then and so in the back of my head, I was like, this could be the husband. But I didn't know until he's in the hotel, he's in her hotel room, and then he so there's like this very tense moment where Blaze is like, I'm gonna go on. I'm not gonna let this killer scare me. And so she goes to her room, but a police officer's like, I'm gonna come with you because I'm going to make sure nothing happens. So he goes into the hotel room, her hotel room, to check it out, make sure nobody's in there. And there's her son laying on the bed, which the police officer pulls a gun out and puts it right to his freaking. He's about to blow his head off. And at this point,
she's like, "No, that's my son. Actually, go ahead."
And at that point, yeah, shoot him because he's weird. But the son, he had some weird behavior up to this point. He took the roses and ripped them off. He put some red pantyhose over his head. He stuck a needle in his ear. He's a weird dude.
Yeah. And then he was also stalking them when the psychologist was there.
Yeah.
He was standing behind them with like the pantyhose on his face and sunglasses.
Yes. There's a scene where he takes pills and it looks like it goes like he swallowed them, but you can still see him in his mouth. Like he didn't take them. If you go back and look, I was just like, come on, man. Y'all could have done a little bit better than that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so at this point, Blaze is like, all right, cop, if you're going to just like, wave that gun around, go stand outside. And she sits down for a minute, but there's her husband behind her wearing that Stan Laurel mask. And he's about to choke her. And then she turns around and she's like, oh, and he takes it. Oh, it's just me. It's just me.
Yeah,
and she's
hilarious.
like, oh. And it's her husband at this point. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, it's the husband.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and this is the first time they introduced the mask in this point, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the first time you see the awesome, creepy mask.
Yeah, and there's like 15 minutes left in the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And he goes, let me go let that cop outside know that I'm your husband before he decides to shoot before, like.
Right. That's really funny. Yeah, let me go make sure I don't get my brains blown out.
Let me
by
go
the
talk
cop.
to him. And then he goes and talks to him. And the cop is very suspicious. How'd you get up here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's when the police get set in motion. But then he starts his ultimate plan of killing his wife. They're at the stroke of midnight, which is the end of the plan, right?
I think so. Yeah. She's the last one.
Yeah. After knocking Diane out, he chastises her over the treatment of their son. And perceiving her and the other women's treatment of him as a slight on his character, he reveals his intention to kill her by chaining her to the elevator and forcing her to ride it all the way up, then all the way down. When he's going to hack the elevator controls and the elevator is going to smash her. Basically.
And that's really cool that he knows how to do that without electrocuting himself.
Basically, he just takes this screwdriver that has some wires on it. He's like, and just like
there's so many cuts to that like one scene where it's like they got it good one time. They got a good spark.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we just got to keep using that little clip there. We're good.
They do. They use it like 10 times.
Right. And somehow he managed to get Yvonne's head up in the elevator shaft. Did you see that?
Yes.
Where she's chained up and she looks over and it's like Yvonne's head. And I'm oh, okay.
He was in the hotel earlier, and then he murdered her, and he had a place for her. So this is all part of the plan.
Guess.
And he kind of like he goes off. He goes off on her, not really going off, but like talks to her like a dad for like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? He's not like, he goes, and you didn't give me a good enough allowance. He was like, and our son came to tell you that he got an acting gig and he didn't use your name at all. and you didn't even listen to him. And he's like pointing his little finger at her and stuff. I mean, like, it was like, I was just like, is this it? You know, like, and like he could have acted like, you know, like a little bit crazier than he was. I don't know. It was just a little too normal for me. I am evil.
Evil.
So he chains her up inside to the bottom of the elevator, it looks like, and then he's like sending it up and yeah. So the police come and there's like this shootout while he's doing this because they're alerted to his presence. A brief firefight does ensue. And the elevator controls are damaged. You know, and he shoot so the police officers shoot the elevator, which I think that stops the elevator, right?
I think so, or slows it down so where she can leave safely.
Yeah. Richard, he flees to the rooftop, putting on that mask that he had used to conceal himself while entering the building. Cornered by the police, he proceeds to jump to his death. A devastated Derek weeps over his dad's body.
You know, I thought there was one interesting point there. I mean, he quotes like Hamlet or something.
Yes.
But he almost puts the mask on and then starts like breathing really heavily, like it comforted him. I thought that was a pretty cool angle. They could have really, if they had implemented the mask earlier and had it be some kind of like comfort for this killer or something the whole time, I thought that would have been really a good story point. But after dude jumps off the building, let's at least like pour some water with red food coloring on the ground for my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he would have exploded after that.
This movie is rated R, so you could have got away with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if
they really let down there.
Like you said, if he was wearing that mask, like you didn't have to show so much in the shower, like when he was killing that first victim, but you could have showed the mask. That's creepy.
Yeah.
And then
very creepy.
Yeah. And then him taking it off and revealing that he's a handsome, winsome personality to boot. You know, that's crazy. That's nuts. So I feel like they did have a missed opportunity there. So the crazy son, this goofy son, he sees his dad is dead and he walks right up to him. And what's the first thing that you want to do is you want to pull that mask off and
tuck it in your back pocket
and grieve over your dad. And they're like, no, you got to get away from him. Get away. So they pull him away, and his mom, you know, she gets loaded into the ambulance, but Derek is then revealed to be the driver. And then it pans over to the passenger seat, and the guy, the ambulance driver, he's dead.
Yeah. The last kill, I think this movie had a total of 7.
Nice.
Body count of 7.
Nice. Yeah. The ambulance drives off, leaving Diane's fate unknown, as a radio announcer in Honolulu is heard announcing the stroke of midnight in the Hawaii time zone. Man.
Well, you know what's going to happen. He's going to kill her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got that little mystery element there for you.
Yeah.
No happy ending.
Yeah.
So this is a true horror film.
Yeah.
For Tony.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I believe that the kid, he said, I have a surprise for you, or something like that. What was the surprise? Was it Dad was there? Dad was coming, or what was that?
I thought the surprise was him getting an acting role. Like, I thought that was what it was.
Okay.
And then she just didn't listen. Because that's what the dad said later. He's like, he was going to tell you that he landed a role and didn't use your name and all that. Like, I thought that was a surprise.
Gotcha. Well, I feel like the motive was not that good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's just out of nowhere that, you know, he established that he didn't like women, or he had like mommy issues or something like that, which obviously were passed on to his son. And I guess like this is because the mom is a strong woman, you know, who makes her own money and stuff like that. I don't know.
She wasn't a strong actor, I'll tell you that. No, he's like, surprise, I got you some new pantyhose to replace the ones that I ripped up and put on my face.
Chris,
surprise, Mom.
She was in Happy Days.
Yeah.
She's a serious actor, man. Come on. She was the Fonz's girlfriend. What do you expect? Oh, my goodness.
You're right.
We have lots of good episodes in 2024. We want to thank you for a great year. This is our first year of Blood and Donuts, and it's been an exciting year. Episode 1, Terrifier, all the way to New Year's Evil. It's been amazing, and we just want to thank you for listening, and we look forward to all the episodes that we're going to do in 2024. Thanks a lot.